Identify target.
Hostile tank. Good hit.
Motor, heat.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Armored Warfare with your host, Czar Peppers. Today we're taking a look at the XM800T, which seems to have become a favorite among the Armored Warfare community. That is, unless you're the person in a main battle tank that just got taken out by one, then it's a vehicle for noobs and exploiters. Since the early 1960s, the M114 had been in widespread use as a recon and command vehicle in the US military. But in the early 1970s, they began an experimental scout vehicle program in order to improve the fighting capabilities of these vehicles, as the M114 was only equipped with the 50 cal and light machine gun. Some variants did have the 20mm, but their relatively large design and top speed left something to be desired. Two vehicles were designed, the XM800T, the one that we are familiar with in game, and the XM800W, which had an unconventional articulated 6x6 wheel configuration. This one isn't in the game. The contracts were issued to the Food Machinery Corporation, strange, and Lockheed Missiles and Space Company, even stranger. But sadly, the trials showed that they didn't offer any improvements in mobility over the M114. The projects eventually ran their course and no vehicles ever went into production, and in 1975 the project was finally cancelled. General Dan A. Starry oversaw the testing of the vehicles. Before the testing had even begun, there were concerns over its survivability and crew compartment size. There was also some concern from the Army that General Starry was determined to turn down the XM800s no matter how they did in testing, although it turned out that they didn't do well in testing anyways. Instead, the Army went with the MICV, now known as the M2 Bradley. One reason they went with it over the smaller XM800 was because the Army wanted something that would be seen on the battlefield, and they wanted the cavalry recon or whatever, to have the same makeup as the armored divisions. That way, when the enemy saw them, they wouldn't know whether they were dealing with a recon force from the cavalry or something from the armored division. Despite the fact that it was found to be ultimately flawed, in the game, this little guy is a brilliant vehicle to speed around in shooting at stuff with. Even though it is primarily suited to recon, it can do a lot of damage if used correctly. It also seems to have an uncanny ability to enrage people when you manage to take them out with it. I guess being killed by something so adorable is pretty frustrating. It's also nice having something with that kind of speed, but without the awkwardness of the wheeled recon vehicles that don't have the ability to turn around on the spot. If you would like some more information on the tactics and tricks for various recon vehicles in the game, you can check out my Recon 101 video right here. Now, this is where I want to get you guys involved. If you're interested in getting a group together someday to do some random matches in Armored Warfare, you should add me in-game. My screen name is Czar Peppers. You can also shoot me an email if you're interested. I'll include it, or I'll try to remember to include it in the description. If I forget, the email is also somewhere in my channel information. I would also like to know what you guys think of these shorter videos. I still plan on doing the longer ones mostly, but I'm just playing around with different ideas at the moment. There also wasn't much information on these little guys, so it is what it is. So hopefully we can get in our tank soon and maybe get some voice chats going and have a few games. Who knows, hopefully maybe you'll be in a video, or maybe I'll do a stream or something later on. But that's all for now, so until next time, good night.
Identify target. Hostile. Tag.